your lips, your eyes, your heart, your ear, your mind, your whole design, your hands are so divine. Ooh, your lips, your eyes, your heart, your ear, your mind, your whole design, your hands are so divine. I try to hide from the world, but somehow you know where to find me. And even with them gray clouds, I can see my silver lining. Even when I had doubt, I can feel that eye behind me. Couldn't see a way out, but you was right there to remind me. I was trying to find help when I just had to find me. And now I know thyself, ain't nobody gonna define me. Said I tried to find help, but I had to find self. I designed myself, I deserve the right to define myself. Ooh, your lips, your eyes, your heart, your ear, your mind, your whole design, your hands are so divine. Ooh, your lips, your eyes, your heart, your ear, your mind, your whole design, your hands are so divine. Ooh, na na na, ooh, na na na. Ooh, your body, ah, na 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 na. Ooh, na 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 na, na 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 na. Ooh, your body, ah, na 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 na. They only mad they ain't understand the assignment. Living without you is something I can't be fine with. On your stomach laying flat, exactly where I want is where I got you. I'm finna press my lips up on your back, boo. You got me kissing every tattoo. Run my tongue to the center of your back, boo. And I can touch you, it don't matter where you at, boo. We know space, time, and distance ain't a fact. Ooh, your lips, your eyes, your heart, your ear, your mind, your whole design, your hands are so divine. Ooh, your lips, your eyes, your heart, your ear, your mind, your whole design, your hands are so divine. Ooh, na na na, ooh, na na na. Ooh, your body, ah, na 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 na. Ooh, na 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 na, na 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 na. Ooh, your body, ah, na 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 na. I try to hide from the world, but somehow you know where to find me. And even with them gray clouds, I can see my silver lining. Even when I had doubt, I can feel that eye behind me. Couldn't see a way out, but you was right there to remind me. I was trying to find help. It's moving through. Dark side, clearing up all the lies in the rumors too. Dark side, you say you want my life, you gotta fight me first. Dark side, come outside round here, there's nothing like church. Dark side, come and get this life work. They talked about Jesus, give them something to Babylon. Just know my whole team is battle tested and battle strong. One world speaking that Tower Babel tongue. Cold Hammurabi thinking ancient Babylon. No pun intended, Reaganomics had us under avalanche. We took off like a rocket, they was praying we could never launch into the upper echelon. You can never be yourself. Every day is Comic-Con, fast money Ramadan. Who collected Condom? Cold check my vital signs. Motel 6 float. Woke up with the brightest mind. Out of sight, out of idle mind. They hate it when you idolize. We living in the final times. Guess you Ellen Keller blind. Spirit when it's moving through. Dark side, clearing up all the lies and the rumors too. Dark side, you say you want my life, you gotta fight me first. Dark side, come outside round here, there's nothing like church. Dark side, come and get this life work. Put my Soul on the altar, I never offer a sacrifice. The blood that we need for the lamb ain't never acting right. I take my path tonight, knowing that I might have to fight. I probably grab a knife and a nine. I guess I'm packing light, focus on the now, just as much as the afterlife. I recognize the spirit is only taking up half the fight. Stairway to heaven, he won't make it up half a flight. He working, making bacon bits, probably out on the Sabbath night. Shoot for the moon, hoping to hit a satellite. You can ask him why when they see me, they call on Adonai. When we both know at the most he telling you half a lie. Feel the transition begin to happen when passing time. I came back in the sky, just like an astronaut, to say you selling Africans out. See you and asking Mike, and it's sad to say they really had it bad for Christ. And I hear the Habasha thinking they are the half is white. Spirit when it's moving through. Dark side, clearing up all the lies and the rumors too. Dark side. You say you want my life, you gotta fight me first. Dark side. Come outside round here, there's nothing like church. Dark side. Come and get this life work.
So definitely power to the dark side, family. Power to the dark side. We definitely got to start this off with a special praise to the most beautiful goddess of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, Stimulus, whose image is the most beautiful Whoopi Goldberg. Shout out to all my Bible builders that are in the building. Remember, if you are listening to this, together we are Babel. So today we're gonna be learning about Soca, and we're gonna definitely and dealing with this. We just kind of learning about our connection, and how we have a connection on the Western Hemisphere to the continent. And also, I think she probably has some other things that she's going to be going into. So, without further ado, I'm gonna allow her to introduce herself. And yeah, your mic is unmuted, and you can let everybody know who you are.
Hi, hello everyone. Thank you so much, Blue, for inviting me to your platform. My name is Shaina Omoragawan, also known as Shaina the Bag on Instagram. I am a dancer. I'm a soca dancer, dance instructor, choreographer. I've been doing that for a little under a year professionally, but I've been dancing soca my whole life. Um, I'm also in network marketing with Total Life Changes, and dancing is just my love, my passion. Like I said, I've been dancing for forever, and I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely happy to definitely happy to have you. I appreciate it. So yeah, kind of let us know a little bit about Soca. Give us an idea of where it comes from and exactly what got you into it.
Okay, so soca is a genre of music that is native to the Caribbean. It is the child of calypso. So calypso was kind of like our parents' generation of this music, and soca is the younger version. Soca accompanies Carnival, which started in Trinidad, and Carnival is a celebration of the freedom of African enslaved people. So soca dancing basically is dancing to soca music. We focus a lot on the waistline. It's a lot of whining. It's very high vibrational, very fun. Think about it. It is our celebration. It is us being free. It's high energy. And it's really a time for people to let go of all of their worries, all of their struggles, worrying about the work week, worrying about baby daddies and people not treating you right, and just being in community with the right people, people who are just full of love and want to have a good time. I got started, like I said, soca music was always played in my house. Calypso was always played in my house. Super Blue was really big. Lil Rick, I grew up on Lil Rick. And that was always the music that made me happy. So a little bit about me. I went to a private high school, and it was like a really small private high school. And then I went to Boston College, and I was always like one of the only Black people in these spaces. So it wasn't the best experience. So I kind of had to pump myself up in order to be in these spaces every day. And a lot of how I would do that was listening to soca music. It was my joy. I would have to wake up early in the morning to catch the buses and the train. So I would be up in the shower listening to Lil Rick, and just on the train in my headphones listening to soca music, and it would just make me so happy. Like, I'd be on the bus. I don't know if you ever experienced it. You on the bus listening to your music and you really just want to be dancing. Um, but in terms of taking it professionally, I took a dance class. Okay, in 2020 during the pandemic, I was in a point in my life I was really depressed. I was dropping out of school because I was studying sociology, and I was like, sociology ain't gonna make me no money. So I was like, this is not really for me, and I'm gonna just figure it out on my own. But I was really depressed. I had just went through like a bad relationship and all this type of stuff. So I was in therapy talking to my therapist, and I just told her I really want to dance. I've been dancing for a long time. We was in quarantine at home. She was like, why don't you take a dance class? I took a dance class, and it was a soca dance class. And that was the first time that I seen women were really making money dancing soca. And I was like, what? Because to me, soca was always just a cultural thing. It was a social thing, things that you do at fetes, things that you do at Carnival. But I saw that women were actually pushing the culture forward, teaching it as an art, breaking it down, like from not knowing how to whine to knowing what whining is and how to do it. And it just resonated with me and my soul and my spirit. And that was the first time when I was like, wow, there's really a lane for me. There's something that I could do, and there's something that I see myself doing. So that's when I started to really take it seriously, really study, take a lot of classes, as many as possible. And again, it was just always a source of joy for me. Every time when I was studying for classes, or I would feel drained coming back to my dorm room from campus, soca music got me back into my energy. It got me back feeling like I belong somewhere. It got me feeling like, life is exciting, and there's joy, and there's things to be happy about. And I just want to share that and spread that with everybody. But yeah, I just grew up going to Boston Carnival. That's why I'm from Boston. With my mom and my sisters, and sometimes my grandmother, rest in power. And that was a communal thing. It was a family thing. So soca is very near and dear to my heart, and soca changed my life. And I just want to continue to share that with everyone.
Okay, wow. Wow, that is fire. That is fire. So, when now you were talking about, you said basically the mother of soca was it Calypso or
Yes,
Calypso?
Calypso. Hmm.
Calypso. Okay, and that also is that also native to the Caribbean?
Yes.
Okay,
Mm.
okay. And what type of connection exactly is it that you see through soca? Not only just through the freedom of the Africans, but also in the music itself. Do you see a connection anyway to maybe Western Africa?
Definitely, that sound of the drum, that bass is like the heartbeat of African people.
Right,
And I think that's why it connects all of us. Um, and outside of the music, the dancing, waistline, moving your waist, that's something that's African too. You see that on the continent,
right.
you see that in the diaspora. Women are and men are rotate their waist in a circle. It's just the way that we move and the way that we dance. So that's definitely the connection and how it came from Africa and moved to the Caribbean and the diaspora.
Okay, okay. And so, like, when you like in general, I know you were talking about how it was high vibration, right? And would you would you? I know a lot of times when we hear throughout different cultures, whether it be in like especially in the island, you'll hear a lot about the spirit. Is that something that you feel that's present during when you're in soca?
Absolutely. Like, I know when I'm waking up and there's just a song that's really fast and it just speaks to me, I'm not even conscious. Like my body just moves. And
Right.
it's just such a freeing experience. And I know specifically soca has a lot of subgenres. So there's a subgenre called power soca. It's a type of soca, and it's that really like pumps you up when you're on the road, like it's gonna keep you going, like it's really good to work out to. And Super Blue, he was actually the first person to introduce power soca to a crowd. So it's classified by a certain number of beats per minute. So he played it in front of the stage and everyone went into a frenzy, like they lost their mind. That's spirit. That's everybody being in
Right.
spirit, where the spirit just overtakes you and it's almost like mind, body, spirit, but also a little bit being outside of your body. You know what I'm saying? Like you just can't
Right.
control it, but you just feel so high. It's so much fun. Like these things, people save up money all year. Like people work all year so that they have money to go to Carnival. Like it's that serious.
Okay. Okay. No, that's crazy. So, and this is something that, like, what are the age range when you go to Carnival? How old do you see people are like the usual participants?
You see all age ranges. You see babies there. They be having kiddie carnival. There'll be a section of just little kids dancing, walking up, having their fun. You'll see grandparents there. You'll see people in wheelchairs there, teens. You'll
Wow.
see you'll see young adults, all ages, literally all ages, all people.
Okay, that's crazy. So it's definitely something that we definitely all collectively can get involved
Mm-hmm.
in.
For
Okay.
sure.
Okay. So that is fire. That is fire. And so you one of the people that you named was Rick. That was also a soca artist.
Super Blue.
You said Rick. It was a
Oh, Lil Rick. Yes.
Lil Rick. Yeah, Lil Rick. Okay. And you got some more artists that you can name?
Mm-hmm. Marsha Montano, DJ Cheem, Allison Hines, Destra, Father Phyllis,
Right.
Lyrical. There's a ton of them.
And so it's not to be mistaken though with dance hall, right?
Correct.
Like the style is it's pretty much it's got its own unique kind of blend to it.
Mm-hmm. Dancehall is more
Okay.
dancehall is more specifically Jamaica, and the beat is different. Whereas soca is more across the Caribbean. Jamaica has soca too, but I would say dancehall is more specific to Jamaica, even though other parts of the Caribbean have dancehall too, but they're a different sound. But it's
Okay
similar
then.
because in
Okay.
dancehall they whine, they do waistline. There's a lot of similarities. They're kind of like brothers and sisters.
Right, right, right. And so you kind of see it. So a lot of the times we'll see our expressions of freedom come out through the dance, and it'll come out through the drums and different festivals that we hold.
Mm-hmm.
Okay then. Okay then. Um, and so you mentioned how long exactly did you say you had? What year did you start doing it?
Did I start teaching?
Yes.
I started teaching last year.
Okay, last year. Okay. Okay. So you
But
almost
I
got
would
what, a
always
full
have like
year?
after school teaching girls how to whine, like after class and stuff, just
Right.
preparing them for like going to parties and things like that. So I've been like teaching for a while, but actually like putting myself out there has been a year.
Well, that is fine. That is fine. And so, outside of soca, what else do you do? I know.
So I
Yeah, I'm about to say I actually was able to try one of your products. I don't know if you wanted to kind of bring that to the light.
Yeah, so I'm in Total Life Changes and I'm a distributor of health and wellness products, which I started only 3 weeks ago distributing them, but I've been on the products for over a year. So since I've been taking my NutriBurst, my detox tea, and my energy, I've been able to lose right now 54 pounds. And it's really changed my life. It changes the way that I love myself. It changes the way that I take care of myself and what I know I deserve. Like, one thing about it, once you start pouring love into yourself on another level, you think of yourself higher. So I just want to share that with everybody, because I remember the days when I was stuck in bed and I didn't have the energy to get up. I remember the days where I hated what I saw when I looked in the mirror. I remember those days when I was sad and depressed, and taking the products and working out, especially whining and dancing and just moving my body, has been able to change my body. And I just want to share that with other people as well.
Okay, that is wild. So yeah, you've had quite an amazing journey. Um, so definitely, and I actually, if you can, go ahead and send me the link also to your IG, and also to where we can go and buy to get the products from you. Also, and
Yeah.
that way I'll go ahead and post those in the chat. Yeah, I tried one of them earlier this morning before I went into work. Yeah, I'm definitely still
You took
I
what
still
energy
got
pill?
plenty of energy to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the it was the sample, one of the three. I think it was three capsules. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely, I'm feeling it already. I can't even lie to you. I think I've been up since 4 a.m. So yeah.
It's no joke. And you know what's
Um,
so crazy? I also work an overnight shift right now. And there's people
mhm.
who are on a lot of monsters, a lot of energy drinks. And it's crazy because one of my coworkers just had a mild heart attack. And health is one of those things that
Mhm.
you you have it until you don't. And it's something that a lot of us take for granted until it's too late. So I just always encourage people, like, there are natural energy supplements out there that really give you the focus and the energy that you need to power throughout your day. It's just a matter of knowing that they're there. So I always
Right.
encourage people to take their health very seriously. So I'm glad that you like it. I know energy is that's one of my favorite products too.
Yeah, definitely. I can use it, especially with the time I gotta go in, the amount of hours I'm usually at it. So yeah, I'm definitely digging it. I plan on grabbing me some more. That's a definite. Let me see. And you were able. Let me see. Um, I'll see if you. How did you send them to me? Email?
You want it through email?
Nah. If you can, text me the link. That way I can copy it from here. I ain't gotta leave out.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Cause and you know what's crazy though? One time I was watching how some of the people, I believe, um, I want to say it was in Burkina Faso. I was watching some people that was doing the dance. I think they was like celebrating a marriage, or it was something that was going on, and it was crazy because it was two older people, and the way that they were dancing with each other. If you would have seen it over here, we would have compared it. We would have been like, well, that was like grinding and this and that. But when I looked at it, it wasn't just like it was rotation between both of them, and then they kept combining. But I could see that they were like literally like teaching. It was like a show of how you procreate, like, you know what I mean, or how you create in general together. And it was wild because it, like, the way that we kind of view it here is kind of different. But when you looked at how they seen it, it was almost like a message in the dance between. I think it was like it might have been like an older auntie and uncle or something like that. Um, but it was definitely fun to watch. It was wild watching them interact with each other. Um, but it's crazy because of the mindset, though. Also, it's different. They don't look um, at each other's bodies in the same way that some of us do in Western civilization. And so
Mm.
it's amazing. even looking at it in the islands, and when you look at Carnival, the different age ranges that are participating, and people understanding like it's 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 a dance of like spirituality and a freedom, as opposed to people, sometimes here, and especially in the United States, that kind of look at things always through a perverted lens.
Mhm. That's really true because
And
sorry,
mhm.
I don't want to cut you off.
Oh no, you good? Go ahead. I was getting it. I got it.
When we move our waistline, right, we're tapping into our energy center. That's our solar plexus, right? Like that area right around your belly button. That's your sacral chakra. That's your creative energy. That's like we are creators. We bring life into this world. We all are in co-creation with God, with source at all times. So when you whine, you're really tapping into that energy center. You're celebrating that life force. That's the creative life force, and being able to share it with like men and women sharing it with each other on the road is very special because it's not sexual. It's life. It's a celebration of life. On the road we are wearing our costumes, which are like really pretty, like either bras, wire bras, and feather backpacks, or sometimes they have like the one piece. They come in all different types of ways. But it's really celebrating beauty, it's celebrating women, it's celebrating this life force. The reason why we're here is very spiritual and is very sacred. And it's also a beautiful display of our freedom and our joy. So I feel like the people who misconstrue it want to, because when you're in it and when you see it, you get it. You understand what it is. Um, and yeah, just for women, it's really healing, like that slow wine, like a beautiful slow wine and dancing. There's women who've been able to like bring their menstrual cycles back. It's been able to help women with
Mm.
fertility. It's very, very important to tap into that, and like release any type of trauma that you're holding there. And yeah, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. I love when I'm on the road and the men are just so respectful. Like they come take a wine and then go about their business. It's just fun.
Right.
It's like this fun celebration of life. Yeah.
That's dope. If you can also send me your IG so people know where to check you out at also on there.
Yeah, I'm trying to see how I could
And
get a
yeah,
link,
mhm.
but it's at Shaina the Bag. ShainaThebag. Hold on, let me
Okay,
see if I can get the link.
okay, there we go. I see. So yeah, definitely, and so yeah, one of the things that you was also saying was like um like the role that when you were talking about calypso, like is that form of soca, like is that still also in existence,
It is.
or is
It's
it
still
is
in
it so?
existence.
Okay,
It's not as popular, but it's still there. It's kind of how reggae is like an older form of dancehall. It's like that
right,
type of
right,
relationship. So definitely the
okay,
older
okay.
generation still. I love calypso. I love the instruments. Like I love the sound of the instruments. It's just a nice vibe. It's really sweet. The messages are nice. The stories and the music is nice. But the younger generation are typically dancing to soca.
Okay. Okay. So originally, when they came out of, we would say the original kind of celebration was more so of the calypso.
Mm-hmm.
But carnival was still that. So that was like the original kind of sound of carnival in a way.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. That is fine. Okay. And so, can you when is carnival? When can people catch carnival?
So Trinidad, where Carnival started, like that was the first place that had Carnival. They actually just like they're wrapping up their Carnival. So I think it was like last week, and I think their Carnival runs like 7 days. Here in Boston, our Carnival is typically like the last week of August. Um, and there's carnivals all over. So there is. I went to Toronto Carnival last year. Their celebration is in July. My family is from Montserrat. So we celebrate our jump up and our festival on St. Patrick's Day. There's a history behind that if I have the time to go into it.
Oh yeah, you got
Um,
plenty of time.
so in um, Montserrat is a British territory, and they had the British Europeans, and they had the Irish indentured servants. So the enslaved people revolted. Well, they were planning to revolt against the slave masters, and somehow the slave masters found out about it, and they captured all the leaders and chopped off their heads, things like that. The African people were
Mm-hmm.
kind of more closer to the Irish indentured servants. So the time that that happened was around the same time as St. Patrick's Day. So we in Montserrat celebrate our Hmm. I would say our culture on St. Patrick's Day. So if you go to Montserrat during St. Patrick's Day, the whole island will be green. It's the only place outside of Ireland where it's celebrated as a national holiday, and that's like their week of jump up and all of these things. But a lot of times they have festivals during the Catholic calendar. I think it's Ash Wednesday. I'm not 100% sure, but it also corresponds with that, the Catholic calendar. Um
Okay.
yeah, but there honestly it's different times each place, the different states. Atlanta has a big one, Miami has a big one, New York Labor Day weekend. um yeah, I would say like look up where you are, your state, and the Caribbean carnivals, and the time of the year that they have it. And if they don't have one in your state, then look
Okay.
for the nearest one. It's definitely, if you've
I'm
never
not
been to
sure if it's
Carnival.
me. I think your I think your camera is out.
What?
Try to turn it off and turn it back on.
Can you see me?
No, no. I think
I
I
could
can.
see myself.
Let me see. That might be on my end. There. Okay, no, you good. You good. That's on my end. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, the chat says you good. Appreciate that. I
Okay.
definitely. No, I hadn't been to Carnival. So you were saying that where else is it?
Um, the ones that I'm pretty sure they're everywhere. Like I just found out this year that they have one in Hollywood. I don't know how their carnival is gonna be. Like different
All right.
regions, you'll find that it's like people behave different. Like in Boston, we get on bad. Like we get on bad. Like
Yeah.
me personally, I love Juve. So Juve is the morning before Carnival, and Juve is like really fun. Like a bunch of women in like little to no clothes, dancing on cars, throwing paint, water, flour, like just vibes, like so much, so much, so much fun. And especially last year was big because we was in quarantine before. So it's like imagine having this festival every year you looking forward to, and then we stuck in a house and we're not able to have it. So
Right.
once we had it after quarantine, we was going crazy. Like it was so much fun. People dancing on police officers, like just so much fun. So I don't know if every city goes crazy like that. Um
Yeah.
yeah, like I know the islands like you're gonna get vibes there. In the States, I don't know because I haven't been to the other ones except in Boston. Um but I definitely want to check them all out.
Okay. Definitely. That's fine. So yeah, I think the closest one to me would probably be Atlanta. So yeah, that's something that I'm gonna definitely have to try to get involved in.
Atlantis, I've
Just
seen
to kind of
Atlantis
get
Day
that
before.
connection. Yeah. Okay.
I want to go there.
Yeah. Yeah. That might be the place, man. Yeah, because like I said, especially when we talk about here in the United States, is we gotta get our connection back, and you can see it, happen throughout the islands and throughout South America also. And it's a good thing now. You can see us, we can start getting involved and get that spiritual connection to our freedom because we don't like, and a lot of cats talk about, liberation more a lot of times in this um, really logical way, and they forget about the spiritual aspect and the spiritual connection that we have to the process. A lot of the things happen that manifest in the flesh or that manifest to us in the physical, that a lot of times they take place already in a realm that we can't see with our physical eye. And so it's important that, we find ways to, to vibrate and get on the same frequency with it. With a lot of times the ancestors is there fighting for.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So definitely, it's an amazing process. Definitely. Um, and so when you, as far as the classes that you teach, you want to go over some of the age ranges there. How old are
Mm-hmm.
some of the people that you teach? Mhm.
Typically, my classes so far have been like 18 to like women in their 40s, I want to say.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, that's typically the age range. Um, I teach on Zoom so people can join from anywhere in the world. And
Okay.
one thing I love about my class, Soca is an art form. Just like ballet is an art form, it has its techniques, it has its rules. Just like jazz and modern have their own rules and techniques, Soca, there is a certain way to do it properly. And there's a certain way that we move our waist, in a circle, and the left and the right, and the up and the down. So I basically break it down from you. If you do not know how to whine, I break it down step by step of how to whine and what whining is. So yeah, the class is really important. I also do divine feminine expression, where I give women a chance to really tap into their feminine energy and use
Mhm.
whining and dancing as an art form to animate their emotions. Is very, very liberating. All the women in my class, that's like their favorite thing. Um, and just just tapping back into your power as women. And then I also do choreography. It's a lot. I put a lot in my class, but one thing I really love and respect about K Love, who's the first dancer whose class I've ever been to for Soca, that there is really a art of this, because Soca is a communal thing, it's a social dance, but it is to be respected as the other genres. um
Right.
it's a real thing. um Yeah, so I keep that tradition alive by teaching it to people. I didn't grow up going to soca classes. I was just in the community. I was just in the feds and carnival, and just learned by watching people and just learned by being there. And some people didn't grow up going to carnival, but they want to learn how to do it. They see it and it's really fun. It's very it they like it makes you feel really confident, really sexy. So they want to learn how to do it, and I hold a space to teach that to women and give them that space to find themselves, like blossom and show out, like have fun, skin out, do what you got to do, enjoy this life, enjoy your body.
Facts. Facts. And I think that is important. It's two things too that's important that happens. You guys being allowed to have the freedom, but not allowed, but you guys being able to take back your power and your freedom to be able to do that. But there also has to be where we able uh, to show respect, respect to the art form and understanding it as an art form, and understanding its connection to um, allowing y'all to be to operate on a higher vibration, and also, like you said, connect to y'all feminine energy. So that is definitely fire. Somebody asked where you talk. It said the Caribbean. Like you from the Caribbean. They said, which island?
What did they say?
They said, which island are you from?
Okay, I was born in Boston, Massachusetts. I grew up in the States. My mom is from Montserrat.
Okay, okay. So yeah, you could definitely hear it on the accent. Definitely. And that is so. One of the things that you said too, you was talking about when we got kind of into the spiritual side of soca, and you was talking about like the part where um, you almost go unconscious. How important is that? Because a lot of the times we talk about people who can't dance. How important is it for them to be able to kind of not think about the step, but be able to kind of um, get into more so the spiritual form where it allows them to move more freely.
The music itself will do it to you. Like soca music will do it to you. I'll be playing soca music at my job, and like the most biggest, like strongest, buffest man will be like, "Ooh, I kind of feel like I want to dance." It just has this uplifting spirit to it, this uplifting nature to it that makes you want to dance. And I say, just go for it. Especially if you go to a fete, any type of carnival, Caribbean party, your people are gonna be dancing. So that space for you to really be free is there. Um, then I would say just tap into it. Like tap into it. You deserve it. We are so structured with, these 9 to 5s, these jobs, the day to
Right,
day. A lot of people wake up, do the same thing, go to sleep. And it's like, when do you ever really get the time to be in your own spirit, your own self, connect to the God within you? So yeah, it's something that you deserve. It's something that we all deserve. And we deserve more joy, more happiness. The more you celebrate life, the more you invite joy and happiness into your life, the more you're going to receive it. And we have so much to be happy for. We have so much to celebrate. And I think sometimes it's easy to forget that. But even just a little thing like going to a fete, like reminds you that life is beautiful, life is fun,
right.
and we truly are spiritual beings having a human experience. So getting into that spirit is everything. It's everything.
That's a fact. That's crazy that you say that. That's one of the foundations of when we talk about dark side doctrine in general. So definitely happy to hear you say that. Um, and kind of tap in a little bit onto that. How did you kind of come into that idea of understanding yourself in this plane as having a human experience and not necessarily being a
So one thing about dancing, I've been dancing since I was a little kid. I wasn't one of those girls who grew up in ballet classes. My parents couldn't afford to put me in dance classes, but I was always dancing in my room. I was always dancing in the kitchen. And whenever they had free community classes, I would be there. And I was just always really good at it. It always came naturally to me. But, I grew up like you got to go to college, you got to get a good education, and then like get a job that makes 6 figures, and then you'll be straight. But
right,
I saw women really taking dancing to the next level, and it just reminded me that I didn't wake up and say I wanted to be a dancer. I've just always naturally been good at it. That means that came from God. That's a gift and that's a talent that I have. And if God put that in me, that means it's for me to share with the world. He didn't put that vision in no one else. So if people are around me who don't understand it, it's not for them to understand. He gave the vision to me. It's for me to demonstrate. It's for me to fulfill my purpose and my assignment. So that's a spiritual thing. Like I said, it's not on me, it's in me. Um, and yeah, it's just I've always just been a really good dancer. Like I'll be in dance classes and it would come to me really naturally. So that's how I know it's more than just us being human beings. Like we are spiritual beings. My spirit and my soul just connects to it. It's funny you say I have like some type of accent. I didn't been the first time I went to Montserrat was in 2019. um I just always was connected. I just always felt that connection. And that's something that I can't deny, something that you can't deny. We all know what's meant for us. We all know what God put in us that people may not understand because the vision is in you, it's not in other people. So, I say honor that. Honor that because that's your magic, that's your power. And if you don't do it, no one else can because no one can do what you do. No one can be you but you. And we all have our assignment to fulfill and we all have abundance to tap into. So, yeah,
Mm.
just tap into that God inside of you.
Now, somebody also asked. Now, kind of go into how do we know that soca is African? What? And this may seem like a trick question, but this is with the way the direction we're going right now and the amount of confusion. Kind of break that down to
How do we know that it's African? I mean, we're African people, so that's what makes it
us.
African.
Bingo.
Um,
There
like,
we go. Can you tell people that one more time? What makes it an African form? Because they're who?
because we are African people.
Thank you. It's very simple. So no matter where African people create a dance, a form of music, a sound, or anything, it's African spirituality or African culture, right?
Exactly.
All right, I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, we got some more people. Let me see. Yeah, somebody said that many African American women started dancing in African dance classes that dominated black neighborhoods. And I wonder if he talking about um, actual, real classes or just the fact of, how sometimes outside you would see, that was kind of a part of like when you like it was like even with jumping rope dancing was kind of something that you would see around the neighborhood a lot when it came down
Mm.
to the girls.
Yeah, I definitely would say dancing has been a sacred space for a lot of women. A lot of times you go to these dance classes and it'll be majority women. Um, I think there's something that connects us. Like I said, women, we're emotional beings by nature. So dancing, it's a way to use your emotion and put it into a craft. Um, and so it's like a sisterhood, it's a bond, it's fun. Um, that's very accurate. Very accurate.
Right, right. And it's a few. We got some new people that also came in. Kind of go back into the origins of soca again for us, if you don't mind.
So soca music, it is the music that accompanies Carnival, and Carnival was started in Trinidad, and that is the celebration of the enslavement of African people in the Caribbean. It is a celebration that happens every year. It happens throughout the islands, and it also happens in the diaspora. And you know what's so wild? Sierra Leone actually had their first Carnival. Um, was it earlier this year or the end of last year? So it's even reaching back to Africa, which I find very, very beautiful. Um, women love to dress up and look pretty and be on the road. So it makes sense that
Right,
it's going even further. And soca music was birthed from calypso. So calypso is the older generation of the music of where it came from. Soca is like the child of calypso. Hmm.
right, right. And so wait, like you've been to a few different types of carnivals. Would you say the men are more involved when you go to like the islands or Trinidad, or is it just as much involvement with the men here?
They're here. They're involved a lot here. Um, Carnival, it has different. They have different characters. So I don't know the characters by name, but they, like, for example, in Boston, there's always a guy who has this whip, like he cracks this whip down the road. And it's one of my favorite parts because when you hear that whip crack, it is just a reminder that your ancestors heard this. And that's how we really are keeping this tradition alive. There's Jab Jab from Grenada. That's where they cover themselves in the black oil. Um, but yeah, men are involved. Men play masks. Men wear costumes. Men walk up and whine and be on the road having fun. Is for all genders.
Right, right. So it's kind of important. It's like so, and that's more so with the men and the women kind of engaging in the dance together.
Mhm.
Wow. So yeah, that kind of can. And to me, hearing that to me that completes the artwork. When you're talking about it being not just the art form, but I think even if you look at it as like a picture, I think that's a part of like the completion of the picture. But and not even just the men being involved, but also once you see the children, because now you
Yeah,
kind of see, what I'm saying, all three forms and all levels of it. Now you know how the kids got here.
exactly. Exactly. And I love seeing the kids participate because I know as a kid I was whining. I was dancing because the music was being played
Right.
in the house and it wasn't something that was overly sexualized. It's the way that we dance. And I want to big up my friend Nandy Yard, and I want to big up Spinny. They're out in Barbados and they teach walk up and waistline to kids. Like they have classes for the kids, and I feel like out there they kind of have more of the space for that culture to be accepted to do that. But you see it, the kids be having
Hmm.
fun. Like the kids want to dance too. It's natural. Like it's just natural as us. I feel like as African people to just move our bodies in that type of way, and I just love that they hold space for that. And I hope that we can evolve in the US to be able to do that for kids because I would love to be in a soca class as a child and not think nothing too crazy of it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, there's kids involved, there's men and women. It's a good time. It's old people. I love seeing the old people. I love seeing the grandmothers walk up their ways. I love seeing the grandmothers whining and enjoying themselves and the grandmas dancing with the grandpas. Like that's so beautiful. I love seeing that.
Right. Right. Now, that's wild. And that's deep though that you said like the cracking of the whip. It just sounds like in a lot of them and the themes they all kind of tell a story in a lot of the ways.
Hmm.
During the carnival also.
Yeah, it is the story of you know imitating the slave masters. A lot of the time when we put on all that paint and the oil was imitating the slave masters. It was a way to disguise ourselves. Um, I even just saw a video earlier today. I can send it to you where they have like the character of the devil, where they will wear horns and everything, and they'll have like they put stuff in their mouth, and it's just like it's telling the story of the time. Like it's really a art of what happened. And by continuing to showcase this every year, is remembering where we came from. Like we can't forget that. We can't forget the work that our ancestors did. We can't forget, you know, why it's important for us to celebrate how we got here, and the people who put in the groundwork for us to be free now. And for us, like, yeah, we're free, but some of y'all just go to work and come back home and don't take care of yourself and don't love yourself. Like, are you really free? Are you really free? And then you
Right.
get into these social spaces and it's like, okay, free up yourself, like enjoy life. Remember that, put you first. Don't be putting your job and your boss first. There is nothing without you. So cater to that. Make sure you feel good. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Like, and that's just kind of even how soca and the health and wellness go together because it's just really important to love yourself. Like people who don't like soca music, I feel like I just don't understand how you can't, because it's just so happy. Even the messages in it, like people be saying crazy things, but one of my favorite soca songs is about voice, and it's called "Cheers to Life," and it starts from you wake up this morning, you are a winner. And it's like since you woke up out of your bed, you are a winner, period. And sometimes we need that reminder, like, I am a winner, I am a champion, I am important, I am beautiful, I am worthy and deserving of the best. So yeah, that energy is everything.
Right, right, definitely. So I think that's just important. I think we definitely kind of got to get more involved, especially here. I think part of the problem that we have in here in the states, um, with because a lot of us seem to be going through a cultural identity crisis, and I think maybe getting down the carnival, celebrating our freedom, um, getting a chance to kind of vibrate on a higher vibration, and also being able to in general engage with each other in a way that's positive. You know what I mean? Where we kind of building each other up. It sounds like it's important too for the women as far as empowerment. I think I think us being in a respectful way, it seems like he was talking about like the confidence and different things like that. So it seems like our engagement seems to bring a lot of positive energy also through. So I think we all kind of need to get involved in that, especially we calling ourselves African.
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely dancing. I think we try to run away from it, but at the end of the day, dancing, singing, the drums, all of these things is important. And, not only in just how we engage when we're celebrating, but also even how we engage in warfare. How we engage when we decide we want to connect to the other side. So I think we got to kind of remember those things and don't take it for granted because a lot of times it's our power. A lot of times we use it, we're kind of harnessing that energy, and then it's not only just pushing us through the day, but you can also see it being pushed and that force being used for also liberation.
Hmm.
Somebody
Yes,
put, I don't
Uncle
know if you can see
Jumpy.
this comment. Yeah, go
The one that's
ahead.
this one right here, or the one before it.
This one, my fault. This one right here, the Moko Jumpy.
I love the Moko Jumbi. They're also known as the stilt walkers. That was like my favorite thing to see as a kid. I don't know. You familiar with stilt walkers?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they're like my favorite thing to see. I still don't know how they do it. I still don't know how they don't fall, but they be up there dancing on one leg, whining, everything.
Yeah, I'm looking like I like watching Hawaii. Look, I like my view from right where I'm at. They out there, they take it, but it just kind of shows you part of the reason why they're doing it because or should I say, able to do it. It was just like earlier what you said. You're not really a lot of the times once you're able to kind of tap into the music and vibrate high, you're not really conscious like that. More so the spirit is what's in control.
Hmm. Okay, I think this might be the same person. They said slavery isn't a celebration. Well, Carnival
It's
is
a,
the celebration of being free.
yeah,
Okay,
it's
let's make
not a
that clear.
celebration. It's slavery.
So what we do is we keep the stories of enslavement alive and what our ancestors did and how they overcame mentally, physically, spiritually, and through actually fighting. So it's important to remember that. It's very, very important to
Right,
remember that.
right. Yeah, so and that's why and that's why when she earlier she mentioned, sometimes in Boston they do the cracking of the whip. The point
Hmm.
of that is that you don't have to hear that. You know what I'm saying? That's something that you didn't have to go through. You know what I mean? But we obviously need to keep that remembrance because we got bozos running around here saying that it never even happened. You know what I'm saying? And that now you really getting into something that's bad. When we got to
Hmm.
argue that the fact that these atrocities happened to us in the first place, like that should be something that's already known.
And one reason why I love that specifically, like the cracking of the whip, like people be running, like people be scared, they be running. But I love it. If you read a book about enslavement, if you watch a movie about enslavement, that's one thing. But to be in real life, hearing that, it triggers something I feel like in our DNA where we remember that. So it's a certain level
Mm,
of remembrance that comes when you hear that loud crack of the whip. Like it just does something to me. Like it really puts me in tune with my ancestors. Um, so I love it. I love it. I feel like it's necessary too. Like that's I don't like that's really so spiritual. How like being able to connect with them in that type of way through that sound. Yeah.
right,
When you experience it, you'll know.
right.
You'll feel it.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure I get me some soca music in the mix. So when I start some of these shows or end some of the shows, we'll get some of that going. Also, see if we can raise these. We can raise some vibrations in here.
Hmm.
So, so yeah, that is fire. That is fire though. So, um, yeah, you know what? That's crazy. Kimmy T said, I want to catch this too. He said dancing was used to communicate between Africans to coordinate escape and attacks on plantations. Golly,
Wow.
bro, that is fire.
Wow.
That is definitely fire.
And I
But
know
I
in the
did want
music,
to go back.
the drums is
Mhm.
how they would power themselves up for battle and power themselves up to fight and like raise that vibration, raise the energy.
Right.
Hmm.
Because it was like it's the way that you play the drums is different tones and different sounds for different moments or different engagements. And so that's another thing that's important for us too. And you can see it because it plays out a lot of times in hip hop. It's certain music and it's certain ways that the bass and the drum is going, or you know it puts you in a ride down on somebody move, and then there's some that it kind of puts you more in a more of a dance type of move. And so it is important on how we find that connection because we don't just that what's crazy is we don't just communicate with the spiritual side, but we communicate with nature in general through symbols and also through vibration and sound. You know what I mean? Or which is the same thing. And so I think a lot of times we kind of forget about that aspect because it goes into our building also.
And I love how you said that about hip hop too, because like back to the question of like people asking how is soca, how we know soca is African. We still see like throughout the whole diaspora the same sounds, the same movement, even though twerking is different than whining. We still see the women moving that part of their body. There's just something about it. Like no one can say nothing because across the world people are doing it. And it's just
Right.
something that's native to us. It's something that's in our DNA. No matter how far removed you think you are from Africa, like it's clearly we can't get rid of it. We can't get rid of it if we try.
Planet Free Spirit, she said that she could never dance in public. She just terrible at it.
What? Girl, come
Let
to
me
my
drop the link
class.
again. That's what I was
Come to
just
my
gonna
class,
say. She
girl.
got the class.
You're gonna have a good old time. You're gonna have so much fun. You're gonna be out there.
Thanks. Yeah. So yeah, y'all make sure y'all hit that link and check her out definitely because she definitely has a lot of her classes. Sometimes she posts them on her IG also, but also get a chance to maybe contact her and get into a class just to get a chance to actually have some fun. It's a way to, like she said, connect again. So and you know it's a good like they was talking about it in general. I think also Nika was talking about the boost of confidence that it kind of gives you. Also, she was kind of adding in there that too.
Okay, give me 1 second. Sorry.
No, you fine. So yeah, I think in general, yeah, we got to start getting back. You know, our connection spiritually. This is a part of the way that we kind of change our mind. And it's important because, like I said, when we look at Carnival, especially like in Trinidad, and we look at who all is participating, you see it starts from from the baby on up, and it's deeper than just them just being in rhythm. A lot of it has to do with how we're going to continue to procreate, and a lot of it has to do with how we are going to actually create in general, whether it be thoughts and ideas. But in a lot of ways, you're gonna have to find your way to connect to the other side. And I think since the time we've been here, we've been connecting through symbols, through dance, and through sound. So we got to get back to it. And see, what people fail to realize. That's a major part of our power, which is why, in a lot of ways, the enemy tries to control it. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people will complain. If you ever notice, no matter where you go, no matter what hood, state, everybody complains about the music on the radio. Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because we don't control that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of times it just kind of shows you they're able to manipulate and control, and through that they don't just control our our emotions, but they able to control the emotions of the rest of the world. Jazz, when jazz first came out, they was pushing jazz around globally. That was something that was pushed, all around, and still is pushed in a huge part of music today. You back? Go ahead. You got it. If there was anything that you wanted to add in,
Being in control of our music, yeah, that's real. The radio will be playing. I'll be in one shift. The three songs, the song will come on three different times on the radio. And even with soca music, it's like a lot of people don't even really know about it, to be honest, unless you're in the culture or I don't know. It's not big in the states the way that dancehall has, the way that dancehall is yet. But I just want to
right?
really shout out the younger generation that's keeping soca music alive. Shout out to DJ Cheen. Um, Shout out to Father Phyllis. There's a lot of people who are keeping the tradition alive, and I think one day we're gonna see soca really big. We're gonna see it in America, and I believe we're gonna see it in a way where it's not gentrified. I believe we're gonna see it where Black people are still in the forefront, where it's still ours. But because it's so impactful and so influential, like I could literally see a soca department in hospitals. Like it's really deep, like it's really medicine. And like there's times where I have been sick and I went to a soca dance class and I came out and I wasn't sick anymore. Like it's really that
Mm.
strong. And I think once people realize that, it's going to go really far. Like there's work to do on this planet, you know, and soca is one of the tools, one of the hidden tools that people don't even know about. Um, but yeah, like in the culture we say soca is medicine, soca is life. Like it truly, truly is.
Yeah, that's amazing. So it definitely you can kind of see it's healing properly, and it's crazy because we was actually I was kind of talking about that, and to me when you kind of mentioned like the way it's kind of healing, not only that, but earlier you talked about like women who may have trauma down there. A part of the wine also is allowing them to like release different types of negative energy that basically they may hold in that area, and so. What's crazy is though I think you can kind of see. I think I was talking one time about like the epic genome and kind of how it reads the gene as a as like basically like a CD. And what was crazy about it is that what they was able to do was change based on the scratches that are left on your gene. And so the way that they was able to they found out they can manipulate age is by breaking down the DNA. And what would happen is not only would it change your age, but also would change the conditions that you was in. So certain problems that you had with your eyes, certain problems that you had, um, maybe even uh, you know diet, like certain people's passing on diabetes, different stuff like that. A lot of the markers that the different rats they was testing it on, um, a lot of the times that the things that they had inherited from birth, basically they was able to remove once the DNA had broke down. And so even when we talk about things like alcoholism or different problems that you have, you can see it if you're able to kind of overcome that by yourself spiritually. It's almost a form of you like breaking down your gene in a way, and almost like and allowing it to rebuild itself to where you remove some of the markers that you carried on from past generations. And so it's crazy that in a way that you kind of showing that happening through dance also through soca.
It's something special. It truly is.
Right, right. So yeah, is there anything else you want to go into, or how are you?
You said anything else that what?
Was there anything else that you wanted to go into, or were you all right?
I would just say feeling good is a strategy. Feeling good is a
Okay.
strategy to attract more things for you to feel good about. And that's one thing I love about dancing. Sometimes, we get so tied up with just life. And if you allow yourself to sit in negativity, you attract more negativity to you. So, dancing is a way that I like to recalibrate to feeling good and to feel excited about life and to feel happy and to feel joy and to feel like I'm somebody. So, whatever it is for you that makes you feel good, do it. Whatever it is that makes you feel alive, do that because that is going to attract more greatness into your life. So, I love
Mm.
Soca. My class is called Honor Soca because it is worth honoring. Like, I just remember the days where I would be in these schools with all of these white people and I would feel so drained. I'll come back to my dorm, I'll feel so drained. Like I got roommates, and it's like I can't get away from these people. And I got 5 classes, I got books to read, I got essays to write, and just playing some music, and I'm somewhere else and I'm listening to it. I'm somewhere else and I'm dancing to it. And I will always honor that because I can't imagine where I would be without soca music. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and I know a lot of
Right.
people. I have a lot of friends who have experienced that as well. So soca deserves honor. Soca is, like I said, medicine. Soca is life, and soca is just fun, and we are worthy of feeling good. If you have not been to a carnival, check out your nearest carnival, or you could go to the islands. Um, you don't necessarily have to play mass just to start, but if you want to play mass, that is an experience that is like no other. There is nothing like having your big backpack on and being in full costume and being on the road for 6 hours like it was in Toronto and just having the energy behind you. Just do what makes you feel good. Do what makes you feel good.
Okay. That is fire. Definitely. Well, definitely. I definitely appreciate having you on today. We got to do this again. Uh, hopefully, maybe we'll put together another presentation. Maybe we can show some, little clips of maybe some of your classes and the people involved. Um, and definitely, I definitely want to do it also once I'm done with my second pack. So we'll do another one on it's NRG, correct?
Yes, NRG.
I'm sorry, it's going down on my back. But yeah, yeah, definitely NRG. So yeah, when I'm done with the sample, today was day one of it. So it's gonna hopefully get me on through the weekend. It's definitely got me still pumped right now. I can't like I'm dead serious. I'm still pumped. So actually, I'm gonna get some stuff done. I got to get me something to eat too. And yeah, but like I said, I definitely appreciate it. Explaining Soca, showing the connection, not just any connection, but showing our African connection. That's being celebrated through not only Carnival and being able to come alive and manifest yourself through the music of Soca.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
I, I thank you for inviting me
and,
to your platform. I appreciate you and what you're doing for the culture. Big up yourself. You doing big things. And thank you everyone for tuning in. My Instagram is at Shaina the Bag, ShainaThebag. And there I have all of my links to my dance classes, to get your energy, the product that he's talking about, your liquid multivitamin, detox tea, everything that you need. I'm always posting on my page, so you'll be able to see me dance. If you don't know what we're talking about, if you want an example, you could definitely see it there. Yeah, and I appreciate it.
definitely, definitely. Yeah, Nico also said the sacral shock. Appreciate that. So yeah, I appreciate everybody who came through, man, and gave support. That was also important. Um, yeah, you got some people that saying they follow her right now. Yeah, check her out. She is definitely fire. I promise you, she is definitely fire. Um, I always I check her out, whether it's her. I've been seeing her go to a couple of different carnival events, and also I've seen her also working doing her class. And like I said, I've seen all different ages engaged in it, and the energy is just different. You know, um, it's just like I can see honestly that it's really positive, really high vibrational, and so I encourage us to kind of get involved and be respectful, and make sure that we're giving our support because this is a part of this is a part of women empowerment. We moving into that age right now, and so like I don't, it's nothing that you can do about it. You just got to be there, respect it, um, allow it to grow. You know what I mean, and be there to be, to get the support. So that's our job with it. We definitely, I know I definitely will. So I appreciate you, and yeah, we definitely shall do this again.
Yes, yes.
All right, let me get this out of here real. Let's see. Oh, I actually played a song that you actually posted.
I don't wanna know how the story goes. I only get so much more info. Message from my dude through my oracle, and it's all on cue. I don't wanna know how the story goes. I only get so much more info. Message through a dude through my oracle, and it's all on cue. I think it's a connection to the Congo, or maybe it's a head being Shango. Back when the Bulls had Rondo, we was rocking red and white. Come outside, cause I'll be outside on my mind, but it's all on you. Let the spirit teach us, don't speak on my reshine. I see why, Yaifa is your name. more info. Message from a dude through my oracle, and it's all on cue. I don't wanna know how the story goes, I only have so much more info. Message through a dude through my oracle, and it's all on cue. It's a method to the message, trust the process. I ain't stressing and I know we making progress. It's a lesson shadow boxing in the darkness, and it's all on you. Come outside, cause I'll be outside on my mind, but it's all on you. Let the spirit teach us, don't sneak on my restart. I see why, I is your name. I is your name.